Brad Pitt's fashion rebirth at 61, a subtle message to his son Knox? When people think of Brad Pitt, they often picture one of the most captivating men in Hollywood, a cinematic icon known for his mix of rugged charm, undeniable talent, and a private life that's always under a public microscope. But here in May 2025, Brad Pitt is making headlines for something surprisingly simple. Not a blockbuster film or a high-profile romance, but a new haircut. Spotted behind the wheel in Los Angeles, the 61-year-old actor stunned fans with a look that seemed to defy time. Gone were the shoulder-length hair and salt-and-pepper beard that marked his appearance earlier this year. In their place, a clean, bold buzz cut, paired with a neatly trimmed beard, oversized tortoiseshell sunglasses, and a crisp white jacket. The transformation wasn't just striking, it was stylish, confident, and unmistakably Brad. The new look didn't just make him look younger by a decade. It carried a quiet message of vitality and self-assurance, as if to say, Brad Pitt is still here, still himself, and still evolving. But what really caught attention was the unexpected resemblance between Brad's new look and that of his son, Knox Jolie-Pitt, who just turned 16. The young man, who along with his twin sister Vivienne, was thrust into the global spotlight from the moment he was born, has recently started to define his own style. Recent photos of Knox reveal a preference for minimalism and clean lines, a sharp yet understated aesthetic that mirrors his father's new appearance. The similarity has sparked speculation. Could this be more than coincidence? Is Brad Pitt, known for once syncing his style with his romantic partners, now quietly mirroring his son? Gone are the days when Brad effortlessly aligned his image with the women in his life. Think the golden hair he shared with Gwyneth Paltrow, the toned, sun-kissed style he sported alongside Jennifer Aniston, or the edgy, artsy sophistication he embraced during his years with Angelina Jolie. In 2025, Brad appears to have stepped into a new phase, one where he's not chasing trends or adapting for others. He's crafting an identity that feels entirely his own. Currently, Brad is in a relationship with Swiss jewelry executive Ines de Ramon. Unlike his previous high-profile romances, which often featured couples dressed in matching moods and aesthetics, Brad and Ines present a stylish contrast. She leans into elegant, minimalist fashion, while Brad exudes a breezy confidence, sometimes even pushing boundaries with his choices. The couple's appearance at the 2024 Venice Film Festival made waves. Brad, sharp in all black. Ines, radiant in a form-fitting white gown. Their chemistry wasn't in forced coordination. It was in the harmony of two individuals comfortable in their differences. This newfound confidence and self-expression comes at a time when Brad's relationship with his children, especially post-divorce, has become more distant and complex. The long-running legal battles with Angelina Jolie, allegations of past abuse, and tense courtrooms over the Chateau Miraval estate have all left scars, not only on public perception, but likely within the family too. The picture-perfect image of Brad as a devoted father has been clouded, if not fractured. So when Brad steps out looking remarkably like his teenage son, it might be fashion, but it might also be something deeper. At 16, Knox is navigating the threshold of identity, figuring out who he is in the glare of fame. And perhaps Brad, with all his silence and absence in recent years, understands that this moment is one of the last chances he has to reconnect, to say something without saying anything at all. Because sometimes, especially in the lives of public figures, actions speak louder than words. And when everything you do is under scrutiny, even a haircut can carry meaning. Maybe this is Brad's quiet way of saying, I see you, I'm still here. While Angelina Jolie continues to be a visible, devoted presence in their children's lives, often appearing at events with them, Brad has taken a more reclusive route. He hasn't been publicly photographed with his kids in years, leading many to believe the distance may be irreparable. But silence doesn't always mean abandonment. In the strange and brutal world of celebrity parenting, silence can sometimes be the only way to protect what matters most. Perhaps Brad is trying in his own quiet, deliberate way to mend what's been broken, through small gestures like grooming choices, wardrobe, or how he presents himself in public. This too reflects the man Brad Pitt is becoming, not the Hollywood heartthrob clinging to youth or relevance, but a thoughtful individual seeking balance between fame and authenticity. The Brad Pitt of 2025 is no longer the golden boy of glamorous roles and fairy tale romances. He's a man in the twilight of a storied career, still holding onto something uniquely his: composure, self-awareness, and yes, style. His buzz cut isn't just a new look, it's a quiet declaration of self-renewal, not for the world, but for himself. And maybe, somewhere in the sharp lines of that haircut, there's a message only a son could understand. Son, I'm still watching you grow. Knox's growth, after all, isn't just physical. His calm demeanor, sharp features, and growing awareness of his place in the Jolie-Pitt legacy are becoming more visible. When he accompanied his mother to the 15th Annual Governor's Awards, the boyish glances of yesteryear had been replaced by a steady, self-possessed gaze. In that moment, he wasn't just Angelina Jolie's son. He stood as an emerging individual, growing up beneath the weight of a fractured, yet iconic Hollywood dynasty. And perhaps the most remarkable thing about Knox is not just his poise at 16, an age when most teens are still trying to figure themselves out, but the way he seems to embody both silence and strength. While Vivienne is stepping into the spotlight with her passion for theater, co-producing The Outsiders with her mother, Knox remains quietly observant. And in that quiet, people can't help but wonder, is he the last bridge still standing between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie? But just as Brad Pitt seems to re-emerge, reclaiming fragments of the man he once was, a storm brews quietly on the horizon. A courtroom, a familiar setting now, almost like a second stage, where the Jolie-Pitt saga continues. Off-screen, but never out of view. After years of back-and-forth battles, custody, property, truth, and silence, yet another hearing is on the docket. Insiders say it might be the final chapter, or perhaps just another painful act. But this time, something feels different. Not louder, not more public, but heavier. Because now, their children are older. Now, voices once protected are old enough to speak. And the world is listening, closely. People wonder, will this be the moment Angelina Jolie lays bare everything she's held in for years? Or will it be the moment Brad Pitt, ever composed, finally breaks his silence? Whispers from inside the legal team suggest new evidence, new statements, things never said before, and perhaps consequences that go far beyond headlines. But here's the part that no one says out loud. What happens when your past follows you into your child's future? What happens when your silence is interpreted not as peace, but as absence? A wachen? And maybe, just maybe, Brad knows this. Maybe that new haircut, that youthful glow, the carefully curated public appearance, it isn't about vanity. Maybe it's a subtle form of armor, a father preparing for one last war, not to win back a house or a vineyard, but to earn back a name. Because even as fans debate guilt and innocence, even as lawyers prepare arguments, there's something more fragile at stake than reputation. The way your child remembers you. And that is a verdict no judge can ever reverse.